Hi y'all, I'm FinnGraves and welcome to Sketchbook Tour 2 of my sketchbooks. I use a lot of calligraphy ink in my work and watercolor and gouache and pretty much anything I can get my hands on. I'm a mixed media artist and my studio's in my house as close to the windows as possible. So yeah, this is a smaller B paper sketchbook that I used, and I used acrylic and gouache in it. That's Spanish moss right there, collected from Florida. In this sketchbook, there's a lot more design thoughts. So before I complete something, I like to doodle about it, and then I usually go make it as soon as I get some pencil work down. So these are some necklaces and jewelry that I was working on in 2015, 2016, some ideas and concepts. These are some large-scale murals that I was constructing and thinking about making bigger. This is talking about how my partner, Bethany, is my muse a lot of the time. And I also make comics, and I've created quite a few different comics with her starring and me starring as different characters in the comics. So this right here is very similar to my comic style. It's simple, it's got curvy lines, it's very emotive. This is another scene that I would throw into a comic easily. I don't worry too much about being precise. Again, in my sketchbooks, I just worry about getting things down. These are some ideas for my blog and for my branding. So, get dirty. That's definitely one of the main core components of me. Make creative work. You know, just keep making, because the more you make, the better you're going to get. And trees and nature really show up a lot in my work. And so, oftentimes so do octopuses and kind of spacey scenes with weird little characters doing things. Whatever's going on in my brain is really what comes out in my sketchbook. This one was kind of important to me. Learning I can only control myself and just like feeling that and what that felt like. This is me messing with some abstract Picasso style stuff. So, and then we're back to textures because my brain needs them. Also, I'm a bit obsessed with tiny houses. I have way too much stuff, and I really wish I didn't have too much stuff, and so I often fantasize about what it would be like to live in a tiny house. These are some of my illustration styles. I wanted to work on a piece that kind of conceptualized what nouns could be, like earthworm instead of human. And again, some very rough sketches. Most of my sketchbooks are full of rough, unfinished sketches. It's not until 2017, which is what we're at right now, that I started completing pieces in my sketchbook, because mostly they're just that space for me to get things out of my brain, you know? That's an elf pooping with Santa. I was hanging out with some little boys, and there's one of their drawings, and I painted around it just a little bit. There's my drawing of an elf that needs way too much coffee, so to keep going. And then again, there's some ideas just for working on my blog. I want to create an art therapy blog, but I don't have enough time right now, so I ask a bunch of questions of myself in my sketchbooks. Who makes you smile and feel encouraged? Who's in your corner? Who do you wish was in your corner? And some more ideas. I wanted to do a Painting with Finn podcast, but again, time is so limited, and I have to use my time to focus on creating. Otherwise, I get really cranky. So, we're back to trees, and then the next little bit is a whole bunch of trees and texture. I do think about going back and like coming on top of this work and working on top of it, but I have so many ideas that it's just better for me to fill the pages and then move on to the next book, because then I get those feelings out, like that darkness like creeping up on you right there in that piece. What lies beneath? Some kind of weird giraffe monster. And then more of my Sharpie trees. They always look like that. Like, see? Sharpie tree, Sharpie tree, Sharpie tree. That's just, like, my brain makes these all the time. I've been making them for the longest time. Also, Dr. Seuss is a big inspiration, and so you'll see a lot of, like, Dr. Seuss style characters in my work. And concepts of healing, like heal thyself, child, goddesses, trees. Those are really, really big for my brain. They make my brain feel calm and good, and at the end of the sketchbook, I was thinking about tattooing, so my work starts to get a little bit more illustrative again. That's a tattoo that I was thinking about doing, rest. Why? And then my work, like, you can see at the end, it gets back to more political. The Black Lives Matter is an important political movement that I think that as artists, it's important for us to step forward and say something about it, you know? Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe, and there will be another one at the end of the month. So yeah, looking forward.